Hey guys, and welcome to game number 60 out of 100 of the Mack vs. Machine series, where I'll be playing 100 games of Scrabble against the top online Scrabble bot, HastyBot. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. We will be first this game, and let's see, we've got a decent rack, not going to be quite bingoing, unfortunately. We actually have Bordeaux with an X, which would be kind of cool, but unfortunately, Bordeaux is not valid without the X at the end. Yeah, obdurate would be available with a T, arbored with an R. So there's a lot of 8s. This would actually not be a bad rack to be going second with. But we are going first, and let's see what we want to do. Do we have any good plays with the B on the double? I really feel like we need to get rid of that U. I just don't see a great play to do it. Maybe dub for 20, keeping OR. I mean, it's not horrible. I also would love to keep the E. Problem is we can't play off like BUO or BUA or something. BUO would be great to play off. It's certainly not worth exchanging though, because AERD is not strong enough to sacrifice 20 points over OR, which is not that bad to leave. I guess Earbud or Dauber are there, but I feel like Daub is just a little bit better to keep the vowel consonant balance. Do we just not have anything else though? It really doesn't feel like a good play. But I'm just not seeing anything better somehow. Redub? No, we can't do that. It keeps AO. Alright, yeah, I think I'm gonna play Dub. Weird play, but I just don't see anything else. Okay, and he bingos with wadding with a lot of overlap, so not the start we wanted here. And now we pick up a lot of A's. Yeah, we don't have much here, I don't think. Far away would be cool, but doesn't quite work. 4A maybe somewhere? Maybe something with Obi? Problem is, the only thing that goes here is an R. And, I mean, obviously, I guess we could play Afro. Maybe that's not horrible. I mean, it keeps AAY, which is not good. But at least it scores reasonably well. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to play off more. I mean, 4A, I don't know. I just feel like that gives back a lot. And AA is not exactly a great leave either. Like, I think we can, I mean, it's obviously a bad start, but we can afford to still be a little bit patient. There's also the S hook on wadding for swatting, so this board is not completely closed down. And it's still early, so like there's still time to open. I feel like just let's not give him back more so that he can just make this lead insurmountable really early in the game. I think being a little bit patient here is fine, keeping things a little bit tight. Especially given that we know he'll be tending to play more open. Against a human, I'd maybe try to be a little bit more proactive. But even so, I mean, I'm not down that much. I'm down 30. If he doesn't have an S, he's going to have a really hard time on this board. I think this is fine. Okay, he plays Git, so he already is opening it up a little bit here. Fortunately, I don't think I'm going to have much. The only tile I have that goes next to GI is the T. I really don't want to play Tav over here. The leave is quite bad, and I don't have any of the hooks. I might be better off playing Ava, which is a bit of a point sacrifice, but the leave is considerably better, and now at least I do have probably decent scoring plays for the next turn, depending on what he does. So that's not a bad option. I just don't have anything, I don't think, from this W or anywhere on the top of this board. Yeah, I think Ava is probably fine here. I just can't really score more. I don't want to play Tav. So I think this is probably okay. Okay, he plays Lick. And we pick up another M, which is not ideal. I should be able to score a decent amount, I would assume. Do I have anything that gets rid of one of my M's and a Y through this K? I don't see it immediately. I mean, I could play something like Hayat for 33. Keeping both M's is not the worst thing ever, but it's not great. I guess I could also consider keeping the Y, but I just don't have much there either. I could play Kami keeping T-E-M-Y. I'd probably rather keep both M's, though. The two M's don't go terribly together, so it's not the worst thing. I just don't see a way to play off the Y and one of my M's through this K, or effectively through this C, which would also be a reasonable option if I could do that. I just don't think I can. Yeah, it's a little bit surprising. But I think I'm going to just go ahead and play, I guess, Kite or Kayat. Probably Kayat to keep. You know, it's interesting. Normally I'd keep the E, but there's 10 E's unseen and only 4 A's. A lot of A's have been played. I actually think Kite is better. It also will give me better bingo opportunities next turn, since the E is a lot easier to bingo through than the A. So I think I'm actually going to go with Kite here. IMMA is not a horrible leave. I also save Maim and Imam on the rack, so it's not... I don't think this is terrible. Okay, he plays Erpt. Not a great draw here at all. I mean, we do get the S at least, which is good. We have Umami and Imam. Maybe Imam over here? How risky is this? It's actually not too bad, because there's not that much that goes next to a U. He'd have to have an H to really hurt me there, and even if he has an H, I mean, I guess he could play like ETH or something there. It's pretty unlikely. This does set up some, which is nice too, now that I have the S. Yeah, it's not a great play, but I think it's probably fine. Yeah, I also have Ings, actually, so I don't need to worry too much about setting up another S-hook. But I really do need to clean up some of this junk on my rack, and I don't see another good way of doing it. I could consider making another S-hook here with male, like Mum or something, but it's just too Val-heavy a leave, so I don't think I can justify that. Umami doesn't really seem to play, so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play Imam. Okay, that wasn't too bad an outcome. Pick up the Z, so hopefully I can at least score something with it. Probably Azons over here is fine. Scores pretty nicely. Do I have anything over here with like Ami? No, because I'd need to put an S here. It'd have to be like ISS or something, which doesn't look possible. Or ASS. Yeah, no, I don't think so. So probably just Azons or... Yeah, I think Azons is fine. Scores quite well, keeps the S. Okay, so he plays Vex, which does set up a T-hook. Pretty clunky draw for us here. Pull an F and a P, which go pretty badly together. Still trailing by about a bingo. Given we don't have a T, we may want to just take this out and play Fed, because we have the S, which will play both with Ings and swatting, so... I mean, it does give back easy plays here for like 30 points, which isn't ideal. I guess I could also score with Ump. I mean, do I want to consider Spiced? It's 49, that is a lot. Yeah, that's a lot of points. I mean, I obviously hate getting rid of my S, but this almost ties the game. And there's 2 more S's and a blank unseen. I feel like this has got to be worth it. It's a lot of points. I just can't see giving up 20 points at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. He just plays Oxic, so that's kind of alarming. He's probably got a very good rack. I imagine I'm going to have to just play like Phone or something. The real question is going to be, do I play Phone with or without the E? Obviously, if I play it with the E, this spot is a little bit scary. But on the other hand, he just played Oxic. He just played off an O and an I, so he probably doesn't have the J. I mean, I can't imagine he would ever play that keeping a J. He could have drawn it, but the odds are slim, given he only played 2 tiles. Yeah, I mean, he's playing J-O here at the minimum every time if he has the J. And likewise with the H and the W, because they would have overlapped here. So I think he's pretty unlikely to actually use that spot for a lot of points. And with Phone, it actually is, if anything, going to probably give him a better bingo line, which I don't want to do, since now he can end in, like, ED pretty easily. Excuse me. So I think given, especially what he just played, playing Phone with the E is better. It also is not bad to unload an E, given there's 6 more to draw. It gives me 3 more points and another shot at the S's in the blank. So this looks good. Oof. So he just plays Res and nightmare draw for us here. Q, and we don't pick up any other vowels? Yikes. Yeah, this is a really bad draw. I think we have to exchange. I mean, I can't play QI here. I really just can't. Scoring 16, keeping 5 consonants? Absolutely not. See, I have to exchange. It's just a question of what do I keep, if anything. I mean, none of my tiles are... Maybe the D. I think the D is good because it is a little vowel heavy. It would be good to keep 1 consonant. There's no D's left. It's good for scoring here. Yeah, I think the D is probably the best tile I have. So I'm going to keep just a D. Because I'd like to exchange a lot to give myself more turnover for the blank and the S's, but I do think the D is valuable enough to keep. So I think this is what we're going to do. Okay, so we have Bloused, right? B-L-O-W-S-E-D. I'm pretty sure that's good. I don't think it plays, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't think it plays. We'd have Dousabel through an A. I actually have a lot of scoring options here. This is interesting. This game is definitely not over at all. So I can play blue for 49. I can play elbow or below for 54. Probably... Yeah, this is tough. I mean, if I play down here, the nice thing is I score a few more and I give myself this E to play through, which is really nice. Blue, yeah, because my worry after blue, right, is that he plays down here above Phone with like a 30-point play, and I'm kind of relying on a bingo from this B, which would score a lot and probably be enough to win. But it's not easy to hit a bingo from a B. I think this way, it's nice to give myself that E. And I'm going to play below over... Well, am I going to play below or elbow, actually? Because below, bingos to the E score more, but it's easier to overlap. Elbow's a lot harder for him to block effectively, which is nice. Because yeah, with below, it's just so easy for him to play like Jin, J-I-N, which would be super annoying. I think I'm going to have to play elbow. Yeah, this looks pretty good. I mean, is it... I don't think it's worth considering load, right? To set up the S and the B. I could. It's just too easy to block, and I don't want to keep the B. Yeah, I'm getting low on time. Let's go ahead and play the elbow. Alright, unitards. Lucky that he gave us that. Wow, weird play of non-fat. Yeah, I guess unitards is the only thing. And now we just gotta hope for the best in the endgame. Did not want that at all. If I didn't draw both the Q and the J, I may have been fine here, but I don't think I'm going to be able to pull this out. I just have too many points on my rack. That's a shame. Yeah, I mean, Jet. Yeah, it just nets 0. That's not going to be enough. No. Damn. This Q really hurt me this game. Badly. Yeah, QI is even worse. Yeah, we're going to probably lose by like 3, I think. Unless I'm missing something, which I really don't think I am. Yeah, there's nothing here. No, this is the best we can do. Yeah, that's a shame. We lost by 6. 399 to 405. I'm pretty confident there was nothing else in the end game. I mean, we couldn't really play off the Q any better than QI over there. I don't think there was any higher scoring J play, so probably just needed to draw at most one of the Q and the J. Couldn't handle both, and unfortunately, we did get both. So I think that's what did us in. But I mean, overall, I'm pretty happy with that effort. Definitely a rough start to this game, but we hang in there well. I think elbow was a good play. Fortunate draw of unitards. But yeah, let's take a look. Yeah, so just not much here. Annoying opening rack. I don't think I've ever had this one before. It feels like there should be a better option. And, I mean, Daub for 20 keeping OR is just not a very satisfying play. But, again, it can't be worth it to exchange here. I mean, ADER is nice. It's not 20 points worth, though. And, yeah, I mean, Dauber or Earbud are playable, but I don't think it's worth the extra 2 points. And there just aren't a lot of other good options here. So, yeah, I think Daub is fine. He bingos. Yeah, I wasn't thrilled with Afro. I mean, Pharaoh here is playable too, but I don't see a great reason to sacrifice 5 points. I mean, yeah, I obviously don't love keeping things this defensive when I'm already off to a rough start. But like I said, it's important, I think, not to be too impatient and make plays like 4A, because it's easy to do that, but the problem is you're sort of just helping him, right? Because he's naturally going to just play over here for a lot of points. And then before you know it, he's going to start being up 80 or 90, and you're just going to dig yourself into a little bit of a much deeper hole potentially. You're better off conceding that you'll be in a little bit of a hole as opposed to a big hole. Just doing this, being a little bit patient, and worrying about opening the board later. I mean, you're going to be down 30. You're not going to be down 100. It's not time to panic yet. It's still extremely early, so I think this is just a much more sound play. I'm perfectly good with it. He plays Git, which is not a play I would have made, especially at this score. Just, I mean, mostly because it gives back this huge E hook. And, I mean, you do keep an E, but there's 10 more E's unseen. So that seems a little bit imprudent. Gert is a little bit safer. I mean, it does give back a floating T. Probably GI. If you're going to go here, I think this is what I would have done. Because I'm not too worried about the Aang's hook with swatting already there. So yeah, if you're going to play here, probably GI. Yeah, I mean, there just really aren't a lot of good plays for him, which was exactly the reason I played Afro. Yeah, I mean, you don't really want to be playing Wig or Fatty, or I don't think. Yeah, I think if you're going to play here, GI is the prudent play. But okay, he plays Git. Yeah, Tav, at this point, I didn't really want to do this. I mean, because it keeps it tighter, but now, I mean, there's an E hook I don't have, which is really bad. And I mean, AAMY seems pretty clunky. I'm really just not leaving myself much of a future. So, like, at some point, I do start to need to be more proactive. And I feel like Abba does a good job of that, because AMTY is, the Y isn't great, but at least it's nice and balanced for scoring. And I sort of induced him now to play down here and continue to open the board, which is exactly what happened. So I think this play is fine. It worked out pretty well for me. He plays Lick. Not sure I would have done this. I think Fat Like is a cool play. I might have gone for that if I saw it, because CER is a bit better than EER, and with Lick, you're just opening up a lot of possibilities. So I think I would have probably gone with Fat Like here personally. Yeah, I didn't really miss anything here. I saw Kayat, but as I mentioned, there are just so many E's unseen, 10 E's versus 4 A's, that I think actually spending the E and also giving myself a better bingo line on the triple column makes more sense. Yeah, I could play Kami too, which I saw, and keep the Y, but I feel like AIMM is not too bad, so I think this is fine. He plays Erpt, which I guess is fine. I would have played, well, yeah, I would have played Pureed, because number one, you score 2 points, 2 more points, and get rid of an extra vowel. And number two, like, yeah, you give back plays from this P, but I mean, what am I going to do there? I mean, I'm not going to be scoring a lot. And if I play something like Pox, which it's actually only 36 points, it's not that many, that's actually not bad, because you have a lead, and then I'll be taking out the most dangerous bingo line, at least for scoring on this board, which is to that E. So I think, yeah, you shouldn't really be worried about plays from the P here. It's not going to, they're not going to score that much, and they'll sort of close down and do your job for you anyway. So I think I would have gone with Pureed here. Imam seems fine. It was not a play I was happy about making, I didn't see miasm here, but yeah, no, I would never play this. I mean, getting rid of the S like that, keeping IU can't be worth it. I saw umami's, but I mean, yeah, you really don't want to get rid of the S here unless you have to. It's such a valuable tile for the swatting hook that I think imam is quite reasonable. And, oh, okay, so I missed Sazin over here, which is, yeah, that's definitely better. That's an unfortunate miss, because this is better because it puts an S over here, which is a really good bingo tile for me later in the game, and it's kind of annoying for him to block. So that's, yeah, that's an unfortunate miss. I really should have seen that. It's, I mean, leave-wise, AS versus IS, and yeah, AS is actually a lot better too, right, because there's only 2 A's unseen and 5 I's, so, yeah, this is not good. I mean, this is actually a fairly significant mistake, just because the A is also going to be nice for, again, the A is just all around a much better tile than the I, especially at this point with the pool, and the S is such a nice tile to put there for myself for a comeback, so, yeah, I really shouldn't have missed that. That's pretty careless. I mean, it's not like a massive mistake in terms of equity or anything, but just strategically, it's just worse than Azon's in every possible way strategically. So it's a bit of a bad mistake. He plays Vex, which I guess it's fine. I mean, I would have probably, I don't know, would I have played Vox? I mean, the question is, how bad is the T-hook? Like, you're up a bit, so it's probably worth it. Your leave is bad enough anyway that I don't actually think EEIO is that much better than EEEI. I think I would have gone with Vox. I mean, just don't give back the T-hook. Like, you're already going to be Val heavy, and you're going to have to hope for some constants either way, so I think at that point, just make the better play positionally. Here, I think I'm happy with Spiced. I could have played Fed, keeping the S, but 20 is a lot to give up, and I'm also just allowing him to drop 2 tiles, like especially if he draws the H for 30 points very easily. So, I mean, CIPS is a nice leave, though, especially with all these E's unseen, so there is an argument to be made for it. If I were down more, I think I would have done it, because then I also set up another high-scoring bingo line down here, which is great for me. But with Spiced, I mean, I'm almost evening the game, right? I'm only actually down 5 after Spiced, and I'm also playing a lot more tiles to go for the blank, which has a lot of merit. It's close, and I don't mind Fed here. I wouldn't fault someone for playing it, but I think Spiced is, the 20 immediate points is a lot to give up, so I think Spiced is reasonable. I'm not unhappy with that decision. Okay, so this is what he had with Oxic, which is, I didn't necessarily think he had the blank, but I figured he had something similar. I mean, it's tricky. I get it, he has the blank, so he wants to be aggressive. You're just giving back a lot between the bottom row and also plays with Toxic. Maybe, yeah, Ray here? This gives back pretty big plays too, right? If I have, like, the D or something, you don't want to give back Feds or something like that for 50. OI here has the same problem with like an L hook or something. Yeah, he doesn't have any particularly good plays. Higher here is pretty gross. I mean, he could exchange, but it's not really great either. I don't hate Oxic. I mean, he's so likely to draw a 7 there. And if I don't have a good play, I'll also often give him another line on row 14, as I almost did. So I think Oxic it's aggressive, but it's probably reasonable. Yeah, I like Fowen with the E here, as I mentioned. Given his last play, I'm much more worried about bingos on row 14 than big scoring plays. Oh, so he picks up 2 R's. Yeah, I guess Res seems fine. I mean, it's good to be aggressive with that kind of rack. Yeah, okay, so I guess I could play 9th. Huh. Yeah, I think I sort of just tilted here and immediately jumped to the conclusion I had to exchange. I didn't consider these kind of plays with Toxic, but I mean, yeah, the 9th is probably the only thing worth considering. I don't think Grind is worth it. I mean, I'm really closing down the board and keeping Q and T when there's so much good stuff unseen. I'm going to be at such a big disadvantage. The nice thing about 9th is it does at least give me a QI bailout next turn if I can draw an I. The problem is, though, I mean, he's fishing, so he's probably, between swatting with 2 S's unseen and now this, like, he's probably going to bingo, if not now, very soon. And if he bingos, I mean, I need to be building for a counter bingo ASAP. I can't be keeping stuff like DQR. I mean, the 23 points is nice, obviously, and I should have at least seen this, but I don't really think it's the right play. It's a lot of points to give up, but like I said, the Q is just so bad. There's only 1 U, and DQR is already constant heavy, so I'd need to draw like Querida or something, which is extremely unlikely. And again, with the way he's been fishing, he's gonna be bingoing, and I need to try this bingo back as soon as possible, or at least score as I did. And keeping DQR is just not the way to do it. So I think exchanging is still the right play, but I wish I at least had seen this and considered it. Yeah, he bingos. I think elbow looks good here. Yeah, as I mentioned during the game with blue, the problem is I'm starting to just deprive myself of bingo lines a little bit too much. And then if he blocks the bottom, I don't really want to have to rely on a bingo from the B. I felt with elbow, I have this E and this L to bingo through and the top. It just seemed a little bit better. And it's not that easy for him to block the bottom now without sacrificing a lot of points. So I think elbow is fine here. Yeah, he plays, wow, bizarre rack for him here. Non-fat. I mean, noon is obviously a terrible play. I would have maybe gone with none just to be a little bit more defensive. I guess one benefit of non-fat, though, is it provides some Q insurance, and that if you draw the Q, you're setting yourself up for QI, because the Q is definitely something to be scared of, right? Because in addition to me bingoing, another way he could easily lose this game is if he gets Q stuck. I mean, there's QI here, too, but I'm also fairly likely to go there at some point. So I don't think non-fat is terrible. I mean, it is still pretty good defensively. It's not likely for me to bingo through this N. It did happen, but it's not particularly likely, so I don't think non-fat's a terrible play. Unitard is, of course, only bingo, and yeah, at this point he plays low knee, and yeah, there is nothing better in this endgame. I mean, yeah, Jihu here is 2 worse. I didn't see that, but I mean, I didn't even really look in that spot, because it's pretty clear that'd be nothing better. I saw Jet up here, though. Yeah, I saw QI. And yeah, basically this is 26, and then I have 28 if I double my rack, so that's a net of -2. Jet score is 30, and I have 15, double that is 30 on my rack, so that's a net of 30 minus 30, or 0, which is the best I can do, since of course he's going to be going out in this same spot of pick either way. So yeah, no, nothing else to be done in the endgame there, and yeah, he goes out and wins by 6. So I think my key mistake was back on this Azon's turn. I really should have just seen Sozin there. I had a funny feeling there was something better. I saw Azons and Nazis, but I just didn't come up with Sozin for some weird reason on that rack. So that was a bit of a big strategical mistake. Other than that turn, I think I played well. I'm happy that I was patient early on instead of just blowing the board open and giving him back a big play. Elbow, I think, was fine in the end. Phone was fine. Endgame was fine. So nothing like super major, but yeah, Azons instead of Sozin is just bad. I mean, there's just no reason to make that mistake for me. I really should be seeing that 5 quite quickly there. So, bit of a shame on that turn, but it is what it is. And overall, it was a very good game. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, we are now 38 and 22 in the series. So, still looking pretty good after 60. He's inching a little bit closer though. So, hopefully in the next games we can try to expand our lead once again. But yeah, that's it for this one, guys. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.